What if I told you that your paycheck is the very thing that's keeping you broke? Imagine this. You wake up every day, go to work, and trade hours for money. You put in the work day after day, thinking you're doing what you're supposed to. You believe that this system, the one that promises you financial security, is the key to a comfortable life. But what if this same system, the one you've been conditioned to follow, is actually a trap? What if the people who work for money are the ones losing the race, and the people who make money while they sleep are the true winners? In the next few minutes, we're going to expose the truth about why you're stuck in this cycle, and more importantly, how you can break free from it. Stick around because what you're about to discover could completely change your perspective and your life forever. Every morning, you follow the same monotonous routine. You wake up, get ready for work, grab a coffee, and head out the door. You spend hours at your job, trading your precious time for a paycheck. This is the system that most of us are born into. It's the path that society has laid out for us. We're told it's the path to success. You work hard, you climb the corporate ladder, and one day you retire comfortably, right? But what if I told you that this traditional path, the one that's supposed to guarantee you financial security, is actually one of the greatest myths of our time? You've been told that a stable job is the key to peace of mind, to security, but the truth is much more unsettling. The very system that was meant to provide security is actually keeping you trapped in a cycle of limited growth. Here's why. You can only sell your time for so long. There's a hard cap on your earnings no matter how many hours you put in. Sure, you might become a lawyer, a doctor, or a highly paid consultant and earn six figures, but the moment you stop working, your income stops. That's the employee trap. Your life is finite, and so is your ability to make money. Now picture this. What if you could make money without trading your time? What if your money worked for you rather than you working for your money? This isn't some fantasy, it's the reality for the wealthiest people in the world. They've figured out a secret that most of us are never taught. Wealth doesn't come from selling your time. Wealth comes from owning something that generates income passively. But here's the kicker. It's not something you're born knowing, and it's definitely not something schools teach you. So where does this all begin? It starts with the very system that's been programmed into you since childhood, the education system. Think back to your school days. What were you actually taught to do? Sit still for hours, memorize information, follow instructions without question. You were trained to be compliant, to follow orders, and to fear failure. There was no room for independence, no room for learning how to build wealth or create a system that works for you. Instead, the system was designed to produce workers, people who can show up, follow orders, and be part of a larger machine. The curriculum didn't teach you how to read a balance sheet, how to spot opportunities, or how to think critically about how money really works. It didn't teach you how to own a business, how to leverage your time in ways that generate exponential growth, or how to invest. No, the education system taught you to be a cog in the machine, and when you graduate, you're handed the ultimate leash, the salary. This salary, which promises stability, is the thing that keeps you tethered to the system. It's that paycheck that keeps you chained to your desk, the steady drip of money that makes you feel secure. But here's the problem. That paycheck is like a drug. It numbs your ambition, your creativity, and your desire to take risks. It keeps you comfortable in your cage. You think you're secure because you know exactly when your money will come. You think that predictability is safety. But the truth is, that very predictability is the thing that destroys your ability to think outside the box. It destroys your willingness to take risks, to be innovative, and to build something that lasts beyond the next paycheck. But the paycheck is not the only thing holding you back. There's a much bigger issue at play: the tax system. You might think taxes are just a part of life, that it's something you can't avoid. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The tax laws are rigged against you. Every time you earn a paycheck, the government takes a huge chunk of it, 30%, sometimes even more, before it even hits your bank account. Income tax, payroll tax, social security tax. The more you work, the more you lose. Now here's where the wealthy have a huge advantage. Instead of earning income through their labor, they earn through investments. Capital gains and dividends are taxed at a much lower rate than regular income. Warren Buffett famously said that his secretary pays a higher tax rate than he does, and it's true. Why? Because he earns a salary while he makes his money from assets. The system rewards those who take risks, those who own businesses, those who invest their money, but it punishes workers. The system isn't just unfair, it's by design. And if you continue down the path of selling your time for money, you'll never escape this cycle. But if you can figure out how to own assets that produce income, then you're playing by a completely different set of rules. But it doesn't stop there. Inflation is another silent killer of the working class. When the government prints more money, prices go up. You know this, right? But here's the thing. Inflation doesn't affect everyone equally. The rich get richer right away. Stock prices go up, real estate values rise, the wealthy start seeing their wealth grow almost instantly. But for workers, their wages don't rise with inflation. By the time you get a 3% raise, your purchasing power has already been eroded by double-digit inflation. The longer you sell your time for money, the more you fall behind. Now, let's talk about something even more critical, the difference between linear growth and exponential growth. When you're working for a salary, your income grows linearly. 1 hour equals 1 unit of pay. 10 hours equals 10 units of pay. If you want to make twice as much, you have to work twice as long. But here's the catch. There are only so many hours in a day. You can't work 25 hours a day. There's a hard limit to what you can earn by selling your time. And that's where the wealth gap widens. But here's the game-changing idea. Wealth grows exponentially. When you invest in assets, those assets generate income for you without your direct effort. Let's take a company like Apple or Coca-Cola. Every day they sell billions of products. They don't need the CEO to be there for that to happen. That's exponential growth. The company doesn't depend on any one person. It's a system that works on its own, independently. And this is the key to building wealth. If you want to break free from the employee trap, you have to shift your mindset from linear thinking to exponential thinking. You need to stop trading your hours for money and start owning a system that generates money for you. It's not about working harder. It's about building something that works for you even when you're not working. Imagine owning a software company, for example. While you sleep, that software is generating income for you. You could be on a beach and the money still flows in. But if you're a doctor, for instance, and you stop seeing patients, your income stops. This is the difference between being a worker and being an owner. But the hardest part is breaking out of the employee mindset. It's not just about the job, the paycheck, or even the lifestyle. It's about the way you've been conditioned to think. This mindset is deeply ingrained in you. It's the addiction to the certainty of a paycheck. It's the illusion of security, and it's hard to walk away from. But let me tell you something. If you keep living in that cage, even a golden one, you'll never experience the true freedom you deserve. The first step is to stop relying on your job for validation. Forget about the titles, the promotions, and the status symbols. The true measure of success isn't how much money you make, it's how much freedom you have. Once you realize that, you'll understand that the trap isn't just your job, it's your attachment to it. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow. That would be reckless. But you can start building your exit strategy today. Use your time off wisely. Research investments. Start a side business. Write that book. Create that content. You're the CEO of your own life. And your job isn't the boss. It's your investor. Use the cash flow from your job to fund your freedom. Once your side hustle or investments start bringing in more money than your salary, you've hit what we call escape velocity. At that point, you're no longer trapped. You can walk into your office with the confidence that you don't need it anymore. You're there because you choose to be. And that, my friend, is an unmatched feeling. So what's the real cost of staying stuck in the employee trap? It's your dreams, the life you could have built, the legacy you could have left, the financial independence you could have achieved. All of it slips away the longer you wait. Time is your most valuable asset, and you can never get it back. Now imagine you're 90 years old, sitting in a rocking chair. You look back on your life, what will you regret more? Not getting that promotion to senior vice president, or spending 40 years building someone else's dream while your dream gathered dust? The door to the cage has always been open. It's time to be brave enough to walk through it. The choice is yours. Are you ready to build your future, or are you going to keep selling your time? The answer is in your hands.